2017 opening night media event. We're so excited to have you here tonight. My name is Haley. I'm from the PR team, and we're actually going to kick off our media Q&A. But before I do that, I want to invite out some of the amazing entertainment team members that we have that put together this event literally year-round. So without further ado, first and foremost, I would love to welcome to the stage Show Director for Creative Development. He oversaw all of the houses this year, Charles Gray. And second, we have the Show Director for Creative Development who oversaw all of the scare zones, Blake Braswell. And last but not least, you know him, you love him, he was just out here. He's the Show Director for Creative Development who oversaw the overall creative concept of the event and the show, Patrick Braillard.
I was just here. I could have just stayed.
All right, so we have two PR team members, Sarah and Brian, who are over here. They're going to be roaming the room with two mics, so if you have a question, please raise your hand and we'll get to your question. So without further ado, we have our first question. Right over there, looks good.
First hand, that's all.
Hello there. So, can you tell me a little bit about how Halloween Horror Nights 2017 eclipses or is different from previous years, not only in terms of all the mazes that we're going to be going through, but also in terms of the amount of work that was put in by your staff?
Do you see the bags under his eyes? No, under his eyes, under my eyes. No, I think that every single year we put on Halloween Horror Nights, it's not only a challenge, but it's also a labor of love. We start months in advance. I think this year it was 14 months. Next year, we've already started 18. Yeah, we're already well on the way on 18. And it goes from a very small group of people, and it suddenly blooms into hundreds and then thousands of people that all work in unison to try to put on the event. And I can say this with all surety, there is no team member at Universal Orlando Resort that does not in some way become impacted by the work that goes into creating this event on a yearly basis. Every single person in some way, shape, or form works to provide this for all of the guests. And it's kind of an amazing undertaking when it gets to that point. Yeah.
Thank you. Good question.
Besides the Academy of Villains, was anything else affected by the hurricane? Anything else that's still coming that needs fixed up a little bit?
You know, we had minor cosmetic damage across the property, and I think what's wonderful about it is that storms pass and we get the opportunity to come back out here and give the guests the great event that we have. I think that, I think honestly, we you know, all of our thoughts and prayers are definitely with everybody, but it's also an opportunity for us to provide escape for them, even if it's only for a couple of minutes in a soundstage, so that they can have AC.
And if you wanted to see something uplifting, it's amazing to see how all the team members here at Universal came together to help each other out personally with whatever they were affected by with the storm, and then come together and get this event up and running. So,
yeah,
an amazing family to be part of.
Hi guys. If guests could choose only half of the houses, which ones would you suggest for them to go to?
The closest ones to them.
that's a good call.
It's like picking your favorite child. Do each of you have your favorite house?
Yes, they are my children. I love them all equally. That's the political answer too. But I usually do have a favorite house, but it doesn't occur until the end of the event. You know, I have favorite scenes, favorite houses, favorite moments as we go through. But I don't have one yet for this year because I haven't really seen everything yet. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to go through night after night and then really, you know, meet my kids and get to know them better. So
I think what's also great about the event is that your favorite house is going to be different than your favorite house is going to be different than your favorite house. We've got such a great slate of properties and original storytelling this year that everybody's going to get something out of the event, and something either truly terrifying or really entertaining is going to happen. And I think that that's one of the great hallmarks. Now, to your point, by the end of the event, yeah, we're going to have favorites. But as of right now, level playing field, anything's game.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey.
Earlier you said the event itself is the icon, essentially, this year. You know, fans love their icons. Can you elaborate on that statement?
Well, I think that Halloween Horror Nights is the festival itself. It gives us an opportunity to place an umbrella underneath all of the, over the IPs and over the original content, the scare zones, the shows. It shows that Halloween Horror Nights in and of itself is bigger than anything that we're going to bring and put into the park. Halloween Horror Nights is an institution. We're in our 27th year, and we're only going to grow from here. And so I think that it is iconic of us to be able to take on that mantle. You know, years ago we had a Festival of the Dead that walked through, that ran as a parade through the parks. And I think that calling upon that as a kind of an homage is also part of what makes this year iconic in nature.
It also gives the opportunity to, for me here in the scare zones, is to create apex predators in each zone.
Yeah.
And so instead of having this one icon, we've got Sam hanging out in Trick or Treat. We've got our alien scientists out in Invasion. We've got our Bone Reaper that hangs out in Festival of the Deadliest. So it opens up the ability to get more of these apex predators in each area.
What kind of steps did it take for you to secure the rights to have The Shining to be a part of the Halloween Horror Nights family?
Most of it had to do with begging and pleading, crying, gnashing of teeth, phone calls. Yeah. No, it was a long process. Much like other mazes that we brought in the past, whether it be American Werewolf in London, Exorcist, Halloween, those are things that as fans we've been seeking for years. And things just happened to work out this year where we were able to work with our partners at Warner Brothers to be able to secure that. It's actually a very fortunate thing, and we're all very excited for you guys to go through that. Yeah.
The Shining is very psychological, so what was your biggest challenge in trying to convert that into a house that people could experience?
That's an awesome question. That's what we asked ourselves on day one.
Yep.
Stanley Kubrick takes this huge overlook hotel, but you still feel claustrophobic when you watch it. And I think that's what we decided to tackle first, the idea of expanse, but also feeling claustrophobic. So we checked the boxes of moments that you want to see, which I think are very important, but also our design team did an amazing job of giving you tight corridors while at the same time giving height, and sometimes height can imply more of a massive structure, especially when your view is like this. So there's a lot of implication that really sells in the house. So kudos to our design team who did an amazing job of that.
Yeah, thematically when you walk through the maze, you're then serving as that individual that's going through the process of having the Shining and being attacked by the Overlook, which is something that Kubrick does such an amazing job of, that you go along Jack Torrance's path during the course of that film. You are going through that entire process as you travel from the beginning to the end of the maze.
Right here, guys. So you've got the Blumhouse dealing with, you're showing a sneak peek of the upcoming Insidious. You've got Jigsaw. Has it gotten easier working with other studios that have active upcoming properties as far as like, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to highlight your upcoming project without spoiling things? Because you've been working with Walking Dead previously, you've been working with American Horror Story about active seasons. Has it gotten easier to work with these studios in bringing these things to life?
I think there is a level of trust that's been hard-earned. I can easily say hard-earned trust, but there is an established trust now that they know we're going to take care of their kids. You know what I mean? We take a lot of care and try and represent as best we can their properties, and I think there is a growing trust between us and other studios.
Plus, it's really fun, because sometimes we see scripts before everybody else, and we see screeners before everybody else, which is really, really fun.
Hey guys, as a first-timer from Atlanta, have you ever been told you've gone a little bit too far, and what do you have to say about that?
Do we have the... Never mind. Self-edit. What do I have to say about that? Well, everything's subjective, right? You'd be surprised. Sometimes something that I'm like, oh, I hope this isn't, going overboard, and everybody loves it. You're like, okay, that's cool, and then you never know. Life is, and art is subjective, so you never know what's going to come your way.
And there's also the opportunity for us, if something is we want to have work, it might not be physically possible because we might not know how to do it yet. But we will figure it out. If we care enough, we will go down that branch and we will figure out that bit.
But I think between us, we put everything on the table.
Yeah.
We absolutely have conversations, and then we edit from there. But yeah, we always put everything on the table.
So I think if we say that's too far, it's way too far.
This is true.
Hey guys, with all the work that goes into the detail and stuff on the scare zones and the houses, are there any Easter eggs that you would want us or the fans to keep an eye out that they may miss if they went through it too fast?
Yeah, I'll go give you some for the scare zones. Trick or Treat in Central Park, when you pass through at first look, it may appear that it's much sort of the party at the beginning of the film in the neighborhood where the trick-or-treating is happening. But if you really pay attention to all the details and the little Easter eggs that are dropped in, you'll see this fever dream of the story of Trick or Treat is all laid out for you. Every little piece of the story is there.
I'm just going to bring up Dead Waters because there's a lot, because it's based and the origin is from that street. If you saw the shack in the street, you would have noticed a lot of the decor. We have taken very specific care in selecting different pieces from that. So if you have any photos from that year, you may be able to find some of those pieces existing in the house also. And I mentioned it this morning, one of my favorite authors is an Easter egg represented in the house as a zombie.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm down front here. A few questions, if I could, just a few. One, how many people do you expect to see come through this year? Two, we like to give information to our followers and subscribers about how to make an experience better. So, are there specific days or dates that we could share with them that might be a little less crowded? And three, if I could, is any tidbits that you would have for people as they're working the park as far as making the most of the experience or how they should spend their time. Sorry, three of them.
Okay, number one, a lot. Number two was...
we're doing more nights than ever before, so you have a lot of different choices.
Absolutely.
And number three, don't pass up the opportunity to go to the bathroom.
Yes, yes, and wear shoes, comfortable shoes.
Comfortable
so a lot
shoes.
of times we walk through and there's somebody just dressed and they are gorgeous and they've got their toes sticking out of their expensive shoes. I'm like, man, come in sweats and tennis shoes. You know, be comfortable. Just come to hike around, have a good time, and party.
Yeah, and the one I brought up when we were talking about this earlier today was everybody always asks like tips to avoid the scares. You can't. There's nowhere that's safe
except bathrooms. We're not legally allowed yet.
We had to stop Blake.
I tried, vetoed left and right.
I think we have time for two more.
Hi. So Eli Roth directed one of the commercials for this year, and I was wondering, can we expect him to have more involvement in the future?
Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be awesome. Well, there's a lot of movies out there that I would love to see, like The Green Inferno or Cabin Fever, for example. Like, don't tell me anything you're not supposed to, but can we expect anything?
We're not allowed to say anything that...
No, but what I will say is that...
Very definitive.
Yeah, exactly. Halloween Horror Nights is an ever-changing event.
Yep.
There's always going to be additions and subtractions, whether people want them or not. And because of that, we are never going to stop looking for people to work with, or groups of people to work with, or companies to work with, or licensed pieces and parts or partners to be able to partner with in order to create the greatest event that we possibly can for our guests year in and year out. You dropped his name as far as the commercial is concerned. Wasn't that a great commercial?
Yeah, did you see the director's cut too? Yeah. The long...
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It's fantastic. And I think what that also does is that also points up the fact that Horror Nights 17, or 2017, is a party. It is a festival. You have no choice but to enjoy yourselves as somebody around you gets scared and everybody laughs. That's the first thing that happens after everybody gets scared. They scream and then either they laugh or somebody laughs at them. It's a wonderful thing. It's a positive thing. So...
I also think that for that Eli Roth, if you watch the director's cut version, for all of us, my favorite thing to see, much to Patrick talking earlier about Halloween Horror Nights itself being so iconic, to have Eli Roth saying, here is a master of horror films that is a fan of Halloween Horror Nights itself. Woo, that was amazing. I'm so happy when I saw that in the piece.
How often do you guys monitor, like randomly walk through and just kind of make sure that your vision is still being all night long?
Every night.
Every night, every house, every street zone, we are constantly roaming. And we also have performance coordinators with us, assistant directors, so we're constantly walking through the entire event.
And we practice what we preach. We all go buy a new pair of comfy shoes right when the event starts that we'll wear out by the end.
Yep. All right, we got time for one last question.
Hey guys, so this is the last year for Bill and Ted. First I wanted to ask what are you doing to send that show off in style? But I was also curious to hear why is this the last year for Bill and Ted, and next year will there be anything else replacing it?
Okay, I'm gonna work backwards. C, can't talk about it. B, what was the middle one? What are we doing? Anything special? Yes, you're gonna have to go see the show. And then A, why is it the last year of Bill and Ted? I think that to my answer earlier is that we are an ever-changing event. And it's subjective for sure. People are going to have a different opinion, and it's going to become a debate topic over whether or not Bill and Ted should have stayed when 28 and 29 and 30 occur. But I think that if we're doing, I think, our guests a huge disservice if we don't constantly evolve and elevate this event and change it year in and year out. I think that's why you're seeing different pieces and parts come and go. And I think it's a great opportunity for the guests to experience a different and new and revitalized event. Yeah. All right.
All right, thank you guys so much. Everybody give a round of applause for Charles, Blake, and Patrick.